Quite the journey to get here to this fight, you know, moving dates and possibly changing opponents and all that stuff. I mean, how difficult was it for you to just kind of stay focused and realize the task at hand?
It was difficult. I'm going to be completely honest. It was difficult because, I mean, if you look basically at the body of work, this is not the fight that I should be in. But at the end of the day, you know, make no mistake, I don't overlook anybody. I made that mistake one time, and I will not make that mistake again. I prepare, and one of the biggest reasons of why I felt like this shouldn't have been the fight was because I know how I prepare. I prepare for each fight like I'm going into a championship fight with Tyron Woodley. And so when you put that much stress and strain on your body, you want to make sure it's paying off. And when you continue to get the level of guys, quote unquote, the guys that aren't ranked up there that will elevate you towards getting that fight, it's frustrating. So initially I was frustrated a bit, but I got over that. Once you start training, and you know, there's a time where you flip the switch. You make the switch like, okay, this is a guy that wants to get locked in the cage with me for a fist fight, and I have to make it happen. So once I made that switch, it smooth sailing since then.
Nice. Your last performance, man, fantastic performance last time out. Got to ask you, I mean, how just personally satisfying was that result for you? You know, kind of breaking the decision runs that you'd have, getting that finish, and then also, you know, beating a name opponent.
Initially, for me, it's all initial. Like, boom, literally right when it happened. But right after that, I'm over it. It's what's next. And to be honest with you, yeah, I know that's what the fans like. That's what they want to see. But I'm more impressed with my decision, my unanimous decision victories, because that's what I do. Even since I was wrestling, I got into this for competition, to compete. And so when I go in there with a guy, it's not just, okay, maybe I put my head down, swing, maybe I land that punch or not, and the guy's asleep, or maybe we're rolling around and I catch him in a quick submission that he wasn't expecting. You know, no, I want to beat this guy. I want to break this guy. I want to dominate him from start to finish. And so that guy knows that when we go into a fight, you train, you give it your all, because this is your livelihood, this is your well-being. As a man, this is what you do. And so when you get in there, you know mentally that you put everything that your body physically was capable of into that training camp, and you get in there and another man just dominates you and breaks you. That does something to someone's soul. And that's what I aim to do each and every time. And so when I can get that done, that's amazing. But don't make no mistake, I can close the show as well.
No doubt. So you get that big win, and then as you said, you get matched up with Emil Meek. I think a lot of people were surprised, right, that you maybe deserve somebody further up the ladder. But this is the UFC. Everybody's dangerous. So once you got over that, break them down. What do you see? I mean, are there things about him that you do respect and say, oh, he does have some dangerous positions?
Yeah, I mean, I respect him. I respect him as a fighter. I think, you know, he's a tough guy. He's a guy that I believe likes to fight. There's certain types of fighters that just love. Some guys just love to fight. There's a couple guys in the division and I keep my eye on everybody in the UFC, not just in my division, but guys like him and Darren Till, I think these guys like to fight. For me, it's not so much, I don't really like fighting. It's competition. I'm gonna beat you at this. And so I think he likes to fight. He doesn't care whether he wins or loses. I mean, he's kind of one of those guys, I don't care whether I lose or win, but I just want to be in a fight to test myself. So that makes him very, very dangerous. And I respect that. As far as skill breakdown, breaking him down, I don't think there's anything that he does better than me. I am the best at everything when it comes down to it. If I'm not now, trust me, I will be, even by the year's end. So I've put a lot of work into this, and I know that everywhere he excels, I excel better. Nice.
A win here, 7-0 in the UFC. I mean, that's pretty damn impressive if you didn't have a nice track record already. I mean, where do you feel like you belong, and what do you deserve, and why do you feel like it just hasn't been coming to you yet?
That's a magical question that I hope the UFC, and I'm gonna after this fight, luckily, hopefully, with the grace of God, we're gonna go down and we're gonna sit down with the UFC to figure this out, because it just really doesn't make sense on paper to to continue to fight these level of guys when I've proven time and time again that I can dominate all these guys. And so when you ask for, I've been asking 4 fights in a row now. I've been promised a top 15 guy, a top 10 guy, but it just doesn't seem to be happening. And the biggest thing is that they're like, okay, well, call out the guy, make you vocal, call out the guy you want. For the last 3 fights, I've done that. I called out Damian Maia while he was sitting right next to me. I didn't get that fight, Colby Covington did. I called out Dong Young Kim. I didn't get that fight, Colby Covington did. I called out RDA. I didn't get that fight. He picked Robbie Lawler. And so it's not that I'm not doing everything right. I'm doing it right, you know. In a sense, it's these guys realizing that that's probably the most difficult fight that I could be in this division that could really hurt my career. Everyone wants to move up the ladder. No one wants to fall down. But Corey Anderson stated this. I'm into this to be the best. So it doesn't matter who I fight, which is why I chose to go through with this fight. I could have said, no, I don't want this fight, and sat and waited. But I'm in this to be the best. And so it doesn't matter who the fight is. A fight is a fight. Anything can happen in that fight. So I respect all. But make no mistake, I am the best at what I do.
You mentioned Colby Covington's name a couple times. They're taking fights away from you. That name seems to keep circling around your career. Do you feel like that's a fight that needs to happen or has to happen?
It's a fight that has to happen because I believe this is fate. This fight has been written. I mean, how much of a small world do we live in? I was a little boy born in Auchi, Nigeria, in a country full of over 200 million people, in a small farm town. To get to the point where I immigrate here, I'm in America, to where I get to college and I cross paths with the people that I have. I mean, you know, let's just summarize this a little bit. Me and John Jones crossed paths our senior year in high school. We met at Senior Nationals, a big wrestling tournament. And after that, we became friends. Hey, I'm going to go to school in Iowa next year. He said, I'm going to go to school in Iowa. That's great. We stayed in touch. My fall break, I went up to his school, spent time with him all fall break. We hung out all week. I stayed in his place, in his dorm, their apartment there, which happened to be the room that Colby Covington stayed in the following year when he moved to school there. How small a world that is, to where, take things further, we both live in South Florida, literally probably maybe 20, 30 miles away from each other, train at rival gyms. We have mutual friends, and I mean mutual friends that we see daily, we talk to daily. So this is something that's set in stone, it's been written. A lot of people don't know, but we were supposed to be the main event for this card, which is why it took so long for them to get a main event scheduled. But once again, he declined the fight, and so here we are. But he can run, but you can't hide forever.
Nice. Well, first things first, obviously you get through Emil. When you play this thing out in your head, I mean, how does this one go? Is this one of those ones where you do just grind them out and dominate them and break them, or do you think you can get a quick crowd-pleasing finish?
I could. I mean, it's going to go wherever whatever he presents is what I'm going to take. As you've seen in my fights, one of the biggest ways and areas that I thrive is being able to control the outcome and where things are going. And so that's what I aim to do. If I go in there and I breathe on him and he falls over in a minute, hey, I'll take that. You know, but he's a tough guy. He brings a lot of intensity and he comes to fight. And so I expect a fight from him. But the one thing that I want to make clear that I really want to clear up is a lot of these guys go into detail and they say, I want to be in a fight of the night. I'm here for the fight of the night. I have no interest in fight of the night at all. I'm here for performance of the night. If I'm here to put on the performance of the night and you're here to put on the performance of the night, that's how a fight of the night happens. Fight of the night doesn't just happen with one guy getting the shit kicked out of him. That's not how it happens. And that's what I do. My fights are one-sided. I'm going to beat you down from start to finish. So I have no interest in fight of the night. I have no interest in taking damage. If you possess that great of a threat and you brought your A game to where you can inflict some damage upon me, more power to you. I'm still going to win, but that's how a fight of the night happens. But I hear guys say that all the time. I want to be the fight of the night. It's going to be fight of the night. I have no interest in that. I'm here to collect the performance of the night check.